Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's episode.
Today, we are going to talk about a very useful topic.
Yes, today's topic is common business English mistakes.
Many people learn English for work.
That's true. English is very important in international business.
People use English in meetings, emails, presentations, and phone calls.
But sometimes people make small mistakes when they speak business English.
Yes, and these mistakes can make communication confusing.
Don't worry, everyone makes mistakes when learning a language.
Exactly. The important thing is to learn from them.
Today, we will talk about some common mistakes people make in business English.
We will explain some useful words, show a conversation example, and give tips.
By the end of this episode, you will feel more confident using English at work.
So let's get started. First, let's look at some important key words.
The first word is professional.
Professional means behaving in a serious and respectful way at work.
For example, a professional email is clear and polite.
Using the right words can help you sound more professional. The second key word is formal.
Formal language is used in business situations.
For example, instead of saying hey, we often say hello or good morning. Formal language is more polite and appropriate for work. The third key word is misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding happens when people don't understand each other.
Sometimes mistakes in English can cause misunderstandings.
For example, unclear sentences in emails can confuse coworkers.
The fourth key word is clarify.
Clarify means to explain something clearly.
If you are not sure about something, you can ask questions to clarify.
For example, could you please clarify your request?
The last key word is tone. Tone means the feeling or attitude in your message.
In business English, tone should usually be polite and respectful.
Even in emails, tone is very important. Now let's look at a conversation example.
In this example, two coworkers are discussing a project.
Hi, Leo. Did you finish the report?
Yes, I finished it yesterday. I sent it to you.
You mean you sent it to me?
Oh, yes, I sent it to you yesterday afternoon.
Great. Thank you.
Also, I want to discuss the meeting tomorrow.
Sure. What about it?
I think the meeting is very boring.
Maybe a better word is long or detailed.
Oh, yes, you're right. Boring sounds negative.
Exactly. In business situations, it is better to use neutral words.
Another question. I wrote an email to the client.
What did you write?
I wrote, "Send me the file quickly."
That sounds a little direct.
Really?
Yes, in business English, it is better to be polite.
So what should I say?
You can say, "Could you please send me the file when you have time?"
That sounds much better.
See? Small changes can make your English more professional.
I understand now.
Now, let's talk about some common business English mistakes in more detail.
The first mistake is using language that is too casual.
For example, writing hey in a formal email.
Or using slang with clients.
In business situations, it is better to use polite and professional language.
The second mistake is being too direct.
In some cultures, direct language is normal.
But in international business, polite language is usually better.
For example, instead of saying, "Send the report today," you can say, "Could you please send the report today?"
The third mistake is writing unclear emails.
Sometimes people write very long emails with too much information.
Other times, emails are too short and unclear.
The best emails are clear and simple.
Another common mistake is incorrect verb tense.
For example, saying, I send the file yesterday.
The correct sentence is, I sent the file yesterday.
Using correct grammar makes you sound more professional.
Pronunciation can also cause problems.
Yes, in meetings or phone calls, pronunciation is important.
If people cannot understand you, communication becomes difficult.
Another mistake is not asking questions,
Sometimes people pretend they understand everything.
but that can cause problems later.
It is better to ask politely if you are not sure.
For example, you can say, could you please repeat that?
Or, just to confirm, do you mean Friday?
These questions help avoid misunderstandings.
One more important tip is to listen carefully.
Good communication is not only about speaking.
Listening is just as important.
When you listen carefully, you understand the situation better.
And you can respond more clearly.
Exactly. Today, we talked about common business English mistakes.
We explained some useful keywords like professional, formal, tone, and clarify.
We also showed a conversation example.
And we discussed common mistakes people make at work.
Remember to use polite and professional language.
Write clear emails.
Check your grammar and pronunciation.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Making mistakes is part of learning.
Every mistake is a chance to improve.
With practice, your business English will become stronger.
And you will feel more confident at work.
Thank you for listening to our podcast today.
We hope this episode helps you communicate better in business English.
See you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.